What's happening, folks? You're tuned into another episode of Xposure, exposing local talent across Toronto, the GTA, and the rest of the world. I am your host, Isaac, and for today's episode, we have a local photographer by the name of Justin Main. Justin, welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you.
So, tell us, who is Justin Main?
I'm just a small town kid. I moved to Toronto a year ago and started taking pictures. Well, I've been taking pictures since 2006.
Right.
Yeah, so moved to Toronto and chased a dream to come and be a professional.
For sure, and it fulfilled too.
Yeah.
How did you get into photography?
I actually got into Photoshop first.
Okay.
I was a clan leader for my Xbox Live clan, which is pretty nerdy. Yeah,
Right.
So I was making websites and doing all the designs for our clan, and I was really big into Halo.
Right.
So I got into Photoshop first.
Okay.
And then it eventually became a passion for photography. I got into photography and started doing that.
Right. What are some challenges you faced?
There's a lot of photographers, and,
Right.
and that's the main thing. I was trying to establish myself as being something different, and not being just the normal photographer. So
Right.
so that was one of the big challenges that I faced, and just technology and money. It's really like any hobby costs a lot of money,
For sure.
and you have to invest a lot of time and money into it.
Exactly. What was a point of time when things started to change?
There was two times that things started to change. One was when I quit my job.
Right.
And I built up, 40 hours a week I was doing photos, and then 40 hours a week I was working a factory job.
Right.
And I was just working because I knew that I couldn't just quit my job right away. So another time when things changed was I only saved up $4,000.
Okay.
So I saved up $4,000 when I quit my job.
Okay, right.
And when starting your own business is very scary. So I was very intimidated, and it takes a lot to run a business. So I saved up the $4,000, and the big point where I wanted to be a photographer, I wanted to be a professional, and then my money was going down, and I was like, wow, like the money that I saved up was going down. And then when I surpassed it, I realized, wow, I am a professional photographer, and I can make a living at this.
For sure.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the pictures that you've taken, and those are just like absolutely amazing. So,
Thanks.
What inspires you to take the pictures that you take?
You know what? I look at pictures everywhere I go. I'm looking at ads when I'm on the subway. I look at ads when I'm on the bus stop. I read comic books, movies. Basically, like I like anything that catches my eye. I like different things. So,
Okay.
I look a lot at other professional photographers' work as well, and I pick it apart. I look at magazines and I pick it apart. I'll look at a cover of a magazine and I'll be like, okay, that's 3-point lighting. Let's see how they lit this. Let's see what I would have done differently, and how I would make it better in my own terms. I'm not maybe not better, but different.
Yeah,
And,
your own way.
My own way, yeah. How I would go about things. So, I guess every image inspires me. I look at every picture everywhere I go.
Okay. And
Yeah.
also, what are some strategies you use while taking the pictures?
I try to take layers in Photoshop, so I'm not really trying to take a photo. So what I try to do is create an image. So I had a long time when I was starting out trying to decipher or get people to understand the difference between a photo and an image. And it's two separate things.
Okay.
And what I try to do with my photos is take just a part of an image and then bring it back into Photoshop and create, a final product.
Okay, so you just mentioned about the difference between a photo and an image. Could you explain that to us?
Yeah, I mean, like a photo is something that really any photographer can take. They just pull up their camera and you take a photo and that's it. And no post-processing, no editing afterwards. Where it becomes an image, I believe, is when you go into Photoshop and you start manipulating it. You take things out, you add things in, you change the environment, and it completely changes what the photo was, and it becomes an image.
Okay, and also, before you take a picture, what are some messages that you try to get across?
What I try to do is be a mirror. So I'm working with a lot of music artists. So I try to be a mirror of what they're trying to represent, because they're trying to sell an image of what they are, right?
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is basically create the image that they want to portray. So, and then I try to add my own twist in it, be it a creative way or a lighting way or a coloring way. I just try to put my own twist on it, but I try to just be a mirror and take a picture really of the soul of the person that I'm meeting.
Okay.
A big thing is listening to the person and what they want from the picture. And when you listen to the people, then you understand, wow, okay, this is what they want out of the picture.
Right.
And then I'll look at other pictures, I'll ask them to send me other pictures that inspire them or pictures that they like the style of, and that gives me sort of an idea of what to do for each specific client.
Okay. What is Photified?
Photified is the name that I came up for what I do, because I try not to just be a photographer.
Okay.
I worked a factory job for years after I graduated. I went to school for photography, so I was slaving away, 8 hours a day, just like putting one thing here, putting one thing there, putting here, and literally my brain, I was like a robot. So I had a lot. I could just take myself away from it and imagine my own thing. So I was just trying to think, like I need a word to represent what I am, and I was coming up with a bunch of weird things like Xposure and like pixel punk and all these other things, and then finally I came up with Photified, and it seemed like it fit right away. It's combining like photo and like certified kind of deal,
for sure. Yeah, it has a ring to it also. What are some projects that you worked on that you're proud of?
You know what? Like, there's a lot of people that I've worked with in Toronto that I'm very proud of. My buddy Dahl is a DJ. I do a lot of work with him. So I like doing creative stuff. I like working with creative people that allow me to put my image into it.
Right.
I'm excited of the work that I've done with people that are out of the city. I've done some work with DJ Afterthought.
Okay.
And he's out of Pittsburgh, and I've done work with people out of Montreal. So yeah, just, I get excited about shooting with everybody that I shoot with.
Especially when it's around the world too.
Yeah, and I'm only working with really people that are serious. So,
for sure.
So
those
really
are the best people to work with.
It is, when they have the drive and they're using what I'm providing them properly.
For sure.
Before, when I was first starting out, I didn't put a lot of value in myself, so I would shoot for lower prices, and I guess they wouldn't value it as much, and they would release all the images. I would spend like 60 hours on doing like 20 images, and then they'd release them all at once, and I'd be like, wow, like if you had a plan set in preparation. So yeah.
How did you get to increase your value?
Work. I just dedicated myself 100%, and I changed how I was going about things. I really believed that quality over quantity was the way to go. Okay. Because there's a lot of photographers out there, so I feel that my strength was in the digital imaging field.
Right.
So I allot 20 hours for editing for a photo shoot, and instead of editing 20 photos in that 20 hours, I edited 5, and then the results were just much better. Okay. So that's how I increased my value and my product.
What is the difference between you when you were starting photography to now?
Tons. You know what? It's confidence, it's experience, and it's equipment. I've shot pretty much in any given location, any light location, because lighting is huge in the photo field.
Exactly.
So,
and in film.
And in film. So I've just experienced. Really, it's experience and the time that now without. That this is now my only job, it's my career, I have the time and the experience to put into my work.
Justin Main, it's been a pleasure having you on our show.
My pleasure.
We've reached a time where we have to wrap up the show. So I'm Isaac, on behalf of everybody else on Xposure, we're signing out. Stay tuned for next time.